Protect My ID Elite invoice payment. I would ask if there is a motion on this item.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the payment for the Experian Protect My ID Elite invoice.
Okay, is there a second on this item? Motion by Mrs. Mayo, second by Mrs. Denler. And again, the motion reflects the title of this, so.
There's a card on the.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Langley.
Barbara just doesn't want me up here again.
Yeah. Geez. Yeah, we just, we couldn't read your handwriting, that's what it is. Mr. Langley on this item, sorry about that.
I'm sorry, my handwriting, because I was so nervous appearing before the board. Madam President, members of the board, superintendent, council, and surviving members of the audience. Before you vote on this payment, I thought you'd like to know a little bit about the service that has been rendered. And I come before you to give you a first-person account. When I got my letter, I'm a retired member. For those who don't know, I'm a retired member from the school district, and I got one of the letters saying that there had been a breach or possible breach. And although there was a difficulty with the website, I've used the phone number that was provided and was taken care of very quickly and efficiently by Experian. But to add to that, about 2 weeks ago, I got a phone call totally unrelated to this, somebody who was phishing over the phone for IDs of veterans. And although I didn't give him any information, he had lied about being a member of the Veterans Administration, and so talking to the VA and talking to the local Contra Costa County DA, they started an investigation on this, and they recommended I contact any credit service. So I contacted Protect My ID because I had the phone number for them. They immediately switched me to their fraud department, and although there was no relationship in our opinion between this phishing expedition and anything that happened with the laptop, they decided to put on an extra layer of 45 days watch on my credit, where any credit inquiry would be immediately sent to me so that I could backstop it. And they said that they were going to have the same thing done with 2 other credit agencies. And within 2 days, I had letters from all 3 agencies saying that there was a 45-day watch, and I would be notified in writing and telephonically of any inquiry into my credit. So that's what you were buying with this? I thought you'd like to know. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to ask one question, Mr. Richards, right now. Is this invoice an amount to be expended or already expended?
Maybe you want to move over to Julie's?
Turn that one on.
Don't electrocute yourself here, it's sounding dangerous over there.
It's Julie. No, these amounts have not yet been expended. They're awaiting payment because the initial invoice came in above $25,000, so we did not act upon it yet. It is also not the final invoice because employees still have until March 31st to sign up. So we'll be getting more signups over the course of the next 2 months.
Thank you. Any other questions?
What is our running total at this point for the break-in? How much does it cost us?
If you actually total the next 3 items, it will give you the total. So I can.
And are we above? So our insurance,
Our insurance is
up to 100,000.
we pay, and then everything above that.
Okay. Have we hit that?
We're still within the self-insured retention as of right now.
Okay. And do we project, this may come up in the next, but do we project going above the 100,000? I know, from what I understand, that this is kind of, the employees have tapered off, and so we're still getting some, but it's certainly a lower number. is there anything else out there still beyond additional employees?
Yeah, currently, we're right, I mean, my quick math, we're about $80,000.
Okay.
So we still have about a $20,000 buffer before we'd kick into the insurance.
Do we have an option, like with your car gets broken into and it's $600 worth of damage, you've got a $500 deductible? Is it worth, the $100 for the increase in premiums? Would we have that calculation? Or if we get to $100,001 that we're gonna have the insurance kick in?
Well, currently, when it gets to 101,000, they cover the $1, they'll cover the $1. But if you're asking me if we have to go back and look at premiums to determine if we should raise our level from 100,000 up to 250,000, we can do that. And that would be a directive to give Mr. Rowland in his office.
I'm just wondering if we know the impact, if we're talking a couple $1,000s over the 100,000, if it's worth paying the extra couple $1,000s ourselves versus having increased premiums.
And I would think that since this will hopefully be our first and last time
Yeah.
dealing with this, but you never know. I think we'll have a better sense of, we got some projections initially when we started working with Experian and the other people on the list here. And, they gave us a projection of how many employees they thought would go for it. And we'll see at the end of March whether or not we meet that projection or not. And so that, we just sent out, Lori graciously sent out another reminder to employees that the timeline is ticking, and sent them, because some people, like we heard on Saturday, have misplaced their letters or whatever. So we sent out one more round of information.
And it's not like we're individually contracted for a single insurance policy for ourselves. We're part of a large JPA. So all of the losses are pooled. So whether our one case would have a significant change
Okay.
in the rate of the JPA is unlikely.
Okay, thank you for that.
Any other questions? Okay, we will go back to the motion, which was pretty much the title of this item. So we will proceed to the vote to approve payment for the Experian Protect My ID. And motion passes 500. Next item is